remember when CNN tried to Me Too Morgan Freeman? My name is Nate the Lawyer. If you are new here, we talk about the law and the facts. If you're about that life, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. Now, this all started back in 2008. CNN Entertainment did this article titled "Women Accuse Morgan Freeman of Inappropriate Behavior and Harassment." And this article was written by Anne Fung and Chloe Melez. Now, Anne Fung is the deputy editor at CNN Media and Entertainment. She currently works there. And Chloe Melez is still an entertainment reporter for CNN. Now, in this article, CNN was alleging that 8 women were accusing the actor of what some called harassment and others called inappropriate behavior. Now, most of these complaints were anonymous, and reports range from demeaning comments by Morgan Freeman in a public setting, as it says here, to an attempted skirt lifting and unwanted touching. Now, to prove Freeman was guilty of these claims, the reporters pointed to 2 women who went on record claiming harassment. Now, how do you prove sexual harassment? Generally, the courts here in the United States apply a 2-pronged test to these claims of harassment. First, the court is going to look at it from an objective, reasonable person's perspective. Is the alleged conduct objectively harassing? Let's take something like slapping someone's butt as an example. Generally, slapping someone's butt at work is objectively harassing conduct. Now, after the courts decide whether the conduct is objectively harassing, next the court's going to look to see whether the complainant's subjective perspective also finds the conduct to be harassing. Now, if the court finds the harassment to be objectively harassing and subjectively harassing, then you have a claim to sexual harassment. But if the court finds it not to be either subjectively harassing or objectively harassing, then you do not have a claim to sexual harassment. Now let's take a look at the butt slapping hypothetical again. See, it is objectively harassing conduct to hit someone's butt in a professional environment. But now look at this video. Would you consider this person to have been harassed?
Say so many things, like go get him, hell of a play, or hang in there, fella.
Who got you? Did you see him? Evidently not. You all right? Yeah. All right.
So in the case of the NFL player, even if you felt it was objectively harassing conduct, subjectively, the player would not have a claim to sexual harassment. So now let's apply what we've learned to the Morgan Freeman complaints. The first alleged survivor is a woman named Tyra Martin. And here's what CNN claimed happened to her.
Carol, one of the women that we spoke to was a woman named Tyra Martin. She's a producer at WGN in Chicago. She says that over the course of a decade, she's interviewed Freeman multiple times and that he always made sexually charged comments. But there was one time that she felt truly crossed a line. That was when he asked her not to pull down her skirt as she stood up to leave the interview. Now, it's unclear if that incident was ever caught on tape, but we do, Carol, have an example of some of his behavior with her from another interview. Now, there is music underneath this clip. Don't pay attention to that. It was not added to by CNN, but here it is.
Hi, how are you?
I'm better now.
Thanks. I don't have any magic tricks. I kind of feel like I showed up for dinner without anything.
I wouldn't worry about that. You got magic written all over you, child.
Oh, thank you. That's good medicine for a single girl.
Ooh. I'm single too.
Are you?
Yes.
Or are you enjoying bachelor life?
I'm enjoying bachelor life immensely. Because I get to look at you and drool. Don't have to respond to it. Right?
Indeed.
So now, back to our test. Did you find the conduct to be objectively harassing? Some may say yes, some may say no. But what about subjectively? How do we know if Miss Martin found the conduct to be subjectively harassing? Well, here she is telling us whether she found the conduct to be subjectively harassing from her perspective.
Not one of those 8 women accusing Freeman, but included in that CNN story for her experiences with him is WGN TV senior segment producer Tyra Martin. When I'm unable to go out of town to do interviews, Tyra covers for me and has interviewed Morgan Freeman several times. What's your take of just the story in general coming out?
You know, it's not the first story, won't be the last one that we hear about this. And I'm sorry for anyone that's had an unfortunate experience or feels harassed or assaulted. That wasn't my experience with Morgan Freeman. The interviews were always fun for me.
Does in the wake of the Me Too movement, does it change your opinion of that conversation? I remember how many years ago that was.
Well, there's been a bunch of them, but no, it doesn't. I understand how, for some people, not even just women, men even, that kind of interaction might not be fun or easygoing, but it always felt like we were in on a joke, that we were just kind of exchanging like that.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like you were mischaracterized in how you were presented in the story?
So it's some misreporting got out that I was uncomfortable or that he had made sexual remarks to me every time, and that's just not the case. I never said that. And it got picked up, and here's where I've learned how careful we have to be, because something gets picked up and then someone else picks it up and then it gets somewhere else and now it's in print and it looks like the truth. And it's not. I didn't have a problem. You watch the video, I'm laughing. It was fun.
So do you feel kind of offended that this person took your comments out of context and you're grouped in with, and you know, you get put in a category?
Yeah, I don't know if offended is the right word, but just I respect the women that have been brave enough to say this thing happened to me and it was wrong, and I support that. But it wasn't me. It's not me.
It wasn't your experience.
It wasn't my experience. So to be grouped in it, I don't feel offended, but just disappointed.
So even if you find that the conduct by Morgan Freeman in this scenario was objectively harassing, it would not pass the test for sexual harassment because the person or the complainant didn't find it to be subjectively harassing by any means. And just to be clear, Tyra Martin is claiming that this CNN reporter is lying about what Tyra Martin said. So this brings us to CNN's second example of Morgan Freeman's abuse. The author of this article, yes, Chloe Melez, is saying that Morgan Freeman harassed her while she was working for CNN. Take a look.
Carol, the impetus for this investigation was actually my own experience with Morgan Freeman at a junket last year for the movie Going in Style. Right when I walked into the room, he began making sexually suggestive comments to me. Now, as an entertainment reporter for over a decade, it was unlike anything I truly have ever experienced. One of those comments was caught on tape. In this comment that's on tape, he says to me, "Boy, do I wish I was there," while looking me up and down. I was 6 months pregnant at the time, and his co-stars Alan Arkin and Michael Caine were seated on either side of him and actually looked at him when he made this comment to me. Again, it was caught on tape, and take a note of Freeman's eyes in this clip.
One time I congratulated a woman on being pregnant and she wasn't. And so I've never done it again. For 50 years I've never done it.
You've learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson.
Boy, do I wish I was there.
This movie is...
As you see, that was quick right there, but there were other comments made to me by Freeman before and after this one, but they were not caught on tape. We reached out to Alan Arkin and Michael Caine, his co-stars who were seated next to him, and they could not, well, Alan Arkin could not be reached for comment, and Michael Caine declined to comment.
So subjectively, the complainant here, Ms. Melez, is saying that she felt harassed from her perspective. But how do we determine if it's subjectively harassing? Well, CNN and their parent company, Warner Media, did an investigation to determine if this conduct was objectively harassing. And this is what they found.
They say Melez reported the incident to HR, which investigated her claim and concluded it was not supported by the facts.
And just to be clear, Melez said that Freeman made several inappropriate remarks to her. She reported this to CNN, which informed a third-party investigation division via the Warner Brothers Human Resources Department. Time Warner could not corroborate her accounts. And CNN's own Human Resources Department, which investigated her complaint, found it was not supported by the facts. So CNN and Warner Media both investigated these claims and found that they were not objectively harassing. So this second claim by CNN's own reporter also has failed the legal test, it seems, and would likely not be found to be sexual harassment. So Morgan Freeman's lawyer asked CNN to retract the story, and CNN refused, standing by the story, even though CNN itself claims that its story was not based in the facts. Now, because of this story, Morgan Freeman has lost a multi-million-dollar endorsement deal with Visa directly related to these allegations. So just to be clear, the only 2 incidents of harassment that we could verify independently have both been found to be not harassment. Matter of fact, CNN claims that one is not harassment. And in the second one, Ms. Martin says that it's absolutely not harassment and that she was misquoted. Matter of fact, she says some of the stuff that was said, she never said. So what do you think? Should Morgan Freeman sue CNN? Should he sue the reporter? Let me know in the comment section how you feel. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm out of here. Peace.